Alright guys, Nick Rogue here. Today I want to talk about another topic that I've been getting a lot of questions asking about. It's how to bait her to invest. And this is actually my ace in the hole for seduction. This is really like my ultimate weapon. It basically hijacks sexual attraction and gets her to backwards rationalize that not only is she sexually attracted to you now and in the moment, but that she was always sexually attracted to you, even if initially that wasn't the case. So it all started way back when. It's a lesson that I learned when I was living in Africa. And honestly, I was living in Africa over 10 years ago. But I remember talking to one of the oldest Zulu men I've ever seen. I swear to God, he was like 135 years old or something like that. And he kind of told me out of the blue as we were conversing in Zulu. He said something that stuck with me. He said, "The lion doesn't have to roar." And what I took that to mean is if you are the lion, you are already the king of the jungle. You don't have to roar. You don't have to prove that you deserve respect from the jungle. The jungle already regards you as the king of the jungle. So keep that in mind when you are going out to seduce women. You are a lion out there. You don't need to be demonstrating higher value or doing all these things to prove how amazing you are to her. It's not nearly as effective as if you were to get her to demonstrate her value. And so I want you to start thinking of different ways that you can get a woman to start showing her value to you. And if you can do this, trust me, it's going to be far more effective than any sort of value that you can try to demonstrate to her. So I call this whole process baiting to invest. And it's a simple four-step process at its best and six steps at its worst. But I'm going to go into the four-step process. This is the easy process. This is the one that hopefully you're going to get. The six-step process is going to be when you are met with a little bit of resistance. But for today's simplicity's sake, we're only going to go through the four-step process. So step one, throw out the bait. And this can be anything that's going to lure her into investing into the interaction. Now, it would be great if women would just automatically start investing. And sometimes they do. They sometimes automatically start investing when you happen to meet their archetype of who they think their perfect dream guy is. Sometimes they will invest in those situations, but if you don't quite measure up to those standards, and trust me guys, I am not the most attractive man on the planet as far as, being a chubby bald dude in his 30s. So realize that a lot of the times, most of the time, 99% of the time, she's not going to start investing right off the bat. So I'm going to have to bait her to invest. So step one, you throw out that bait. Step two, she takes that bait. And now here's where a lot of guys will mess up when they are baiting to invest is they'll throw out the bait, she takes it, and then they forget step three, and that is to reward her for the investment. So I'll see guys when they get into interview mode, for example, where they ask a bunch of questions back to back to back to back. And what this does is she starts investing by answering these questions, but not only does it get boring, but since you're just asking question after question, you're not rewarding her for these. And if you don't reward a girl for her investments, she's not going to want to do them again in the future. It's the carrot and the stick. And by you not rewarding her, you're giving her the stick. You need to be giving her the carrot. And by carrot, I also mean a euphemism for your penis. You'll be giving that to her later once she starts investing. And the funny thing about doing this is if you go to step four and repeat, the more that you go through this process, the bigger the investments you can go for. And you'll find that she'll start naturally investing more and more and more the more you go through this. And you won't even have to throw out the bait anymore. You just need to reward her when she invests further and further. So let's give you a practical example of how to bait to invest. One of my favorite ones to do is just throw this out in the middle of the conversation. Say you're 5 minutes in. Say, "So, you never told me what your passion was." And she's probably going to be like, "Wait, what? You never asked." Or she might even just start saying what her passion is. Either way, you want to get her talking about her passion. Now, passion is an awesome topic to talk about because this also sets a subtle sexual frame, but by wording it this way, if she starts talking about her passion, you are baiting her into investing. The more she talks about her passion, the more she's investing in that interaction. The more that she reveals about her true self and her true desires and passion, the more she's going to be invested in that interaction. And passion is a great thing to be invested in just because of all the subtle sexual frames that it's going to set. because passion is passion, regardless of the object they put that passion into. So if you get her talking about passion, is she talking about, her life's dreams and goals and ambitions, or is she talking about passion for a man in the sack? Well, she could be talking about any of those things, but they're so closely linked in her brain that regardless of the object of her passion, it's going to register in the same areas of her brain. I can remember a time when I had two Mormon missionary girls come to my house, and they kept coming back, and I wasn't interested. But one day I decided just to mess with them a little bit. So I get them to come in, and I decided to talk about their passion. I'm like, so what is it that you are truly passionate about? And they started talking about, oh, well, I'm so passionate about God and Jesus and all of that stuff. And I can remember saying, oh, yeah, and when you experience that passion, you really feel it deep inside you. Where do you begin to experience that passion? And I went through all this, and I can remember a point in the conversation where these two missionary girls looked at each other, flushed, and realized, oh shit, we gotta go. Now, what did I do? I got these missionary girls that were here trying to spread the word of Jesus and God and the Mormon Bibles, and the end result was, because I got them talking about their passion and experiencing that passion, they also started to feel that passion in the sexual sense, and they quickly left. So this is something powerful that you could be using, and this again is like a lot of the tricks and techniques and tactics that I teach at Same Night Seduction. They're very simple, and you can use them tonight. So I want you to go out and start baiting girls to invest, and notice how much more effective it is than trying to build your value and demonstrate how awesome you are. It's going to bypass all of those things and get her really, really turned on if you use it properly. Now, I'm making all these videos partially because I want to give out this good information that you can use tonight, and partially because I really want to have you join me on an upcoming episode of Get Laid Television. And what it is my free webinar series where I am giving more in-depth, more cutting-edge tactics that you can use, and we're going to really dive deep in them. They're going to be much more in-depth than these quick little videos that I'm giving you, all surrounding a topic that you can use instantly. And they're free to show up. All you got to do is go sign up to get the notifications, and you can do that by going to sns.gs/gltv-events. I would love it if you would go there, put your email in. I'm never going to use this list to market to you. I'm only going to use this to notify you of upcoming GLTV events. So go ahead and do that right now. Thank you guys, and we'll talk soon. Get some.